evil in human nature.
She wouldn't even harm a fly.
Just like I would tell you, if you're going to do something, do it well. And leave something witchy. Leave a sign to let the world know that you were there.
Movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative.
Hello. Paula's eating pizza. She's trying to swallow right now.
Yes. Hi, I'm Paula. Welcome to Undercover Coven. That's Ale.
Hi, I'm Ale.
Yes, I am Paula. And here we are. Brand new episode once again.
Mm-hmm.
So let's hope my screen doesn't cut to black because that would seriously be so scary.
Your screen. Oh, yeah. Twice your screen went to black.
I was telling Ale
I'm
a
telling
story.
you.
I know. I was telling Ale a story and all of a sudden my screen, everything just went black, but it didn't, like, my computer didn't turn off. What the fuck? Now I'm scared. And our topic today is kind of creepy, so now I'm scared. Like,
I made a joke about it because at this point I can joke about it.
True. Okay,
Yeah.
so today, oh wait, let's do shout-outs because
Yes,
I forgot.
let's do it right away. Okay, first of all,
Yes.
Sandy from the Woods podcast.
Yes! Woo!
Congratulations! You got engaged, girl!
Yay! You got engaged. You are now part of that percent of women who kill their husbands. So, yay!
Okay.
Please don't
I
kill.
hope you never do.
Yes.
But if you do, can we please do an episode about it?
Can you, like, write your permission to be like, oh, I want Undercover Coven to write an episode about me?
But don't.
But-
We're not saying to do it.
Yes. Just as we said with the cults, don't do it. But if you're gonna do it, like, we can't stop you. So,
Exactly.
yes. And congratulations to, we're not sure yet, for their new logo. And the new episode about JFK was awesome.
Their new logo is so cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. And those are our shoutouts.
Yes. Sorry, it's been a day.
Oh, and we also have to shout out the Woods podcast because they wrote, like, this great long review.
Yes. Oh my god, I forgot about that. I am so sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Wait, we can look it up. We can find it. We'll find it.
Okay, so the Woods podcast said, this podcast is super fun to listen to while you're walking the dog, taking the bus to school, or cleaning your house. I look forward to Monday so I can listen to whatever spooky stuff these ladies have in store. Definitely recommend the Woods podcast. So, thank you
Woohoo!
so much. And as a podcast recommendation, they're also really cool and they're funny. I laughed a lot.
They are.
They're really
Yes.
funny. And I thought it was really funny.
Did you listen to? I listened to the one for Christmas.
Oh, no, I didn't.
And they were talking about piñatas. Sandy, I think it was Sandy was talking about piñatas.
Okay.
And so they were saying how, I think in China might have been, I don't recall exactly, they would actually break like clay pots because that's what piñata translates to.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Does it have candy?
And so I was thinking and I'm like, huh?
Does it have candy?
I don't know if it had anything inside. I don't think so. They would just like break clay pots.
That's weird.
I know. And I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's weird. That's cool.
It is really cool. Anyways, yeah, you should go listen to their
I love that
podcast.
Sandy was like, oh, I got engaged. And so today we're going to be talking about women who murder their husbands.
Yay!
The other podcast I
love
wanted to
it.
recommend, I don't know Al, if you've listened to it, but it's People Keep Dying. People Keep Dying, right? That's the one?
No, I've never. I know we follow them on Instagram, I think.
Yeah, that's why I saw it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's called
I have like a list of podcasts that I have to listen to.
It's called People Keep Dying, and it's basically ways people have died. And I listened to one that was really cool. That was about it was about one in Korea, because one of the ladies is Canadian, and the other one is Korean American.
Oh, nice.
And so they were talking about a like in Korea, they wanted to build a apartment complex, and they ended up building a mall, and everything inside the mall was not
Weird.
according to regulation, and basically the mall fell on top of everybody, and it killed like 500 people.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I listened to that episode because I had no idea that had happened.
No, I mean,
And-
oh my god.
and it was like, it wasn't that long ago, and I was like, whoa.
Wow.
And then I got interested a lot in their podcast, so it's really cool. You should listen to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I have a bunch of that are queued that I have to listen to, and like episodes from. I know because I have to catch up on. We're not sure yet, and lore. So I have to like. I have them all queued, and today I have some spring cleaning to do in my room, so I'll probably just like blast it on.
Cool. Yeah, I have to clean too, so yay.
Yay.
Okay, so let's move on.
Yay.
Today's episode is something that honestly I don't know much about. I for some reason I've never been interested in it, but it is really creepy.
Yes.
It is about stalkers. Stalkers.
Which is something that I am interested in.
Yes.
And I do. Yeah, I will tell my story later, but I used to have a stalker a couple years back, and it was probably one of the scariest things ever.
Yeah.
So let's start with what a stalker is.
But wait, I don't know Ale's story, by the way. I have no idea what she's gonna say, so my reaction will be real. I don't know how long ago this was. I didn't even know. Do our other friends know about this?
No. Only Ariane, kind of, sort of. I've only told my sister and my supervisor because we had a long talk about it once, but it was like way after it happened.
Okay.
Yeah, but Paula doesn't know. I don't talk about it a lot for reasons that, he knew people that I knew, so I was just scared of him.
But oh my god,
basically.
Like, I remember when we were talking about, like, oh, what episode should we do? And Ale said Stalkers. I had one, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
Not too much, but we'll get into it in the story.
Okay. Here we go.
So, okay. Yeah. So, stalker is a person who harasses or persecutes someone with unwanted and obsessive attention. Yes.
Yes.
So, some facts about it. 1 in 12 women are stalked at some point in their lives. A woman is 3 times more likely to be stalked than raped.
Dude.
Which is scary.
Dude.
Most victims are between the ages of 18 and 29 years old. An estimated of 750,000 to 1.25 million women are stalked every year, and 200,000 to 600,000 men are stalked also every year. Which is why it's most likely to be a woman than a man. And it's scary because they're both seen very differently, the way that people sees a man stalker, like a man stalking a woman.
True.
Than a way that a man sees stalking a woman sees stalking a man. I feel like there's a lot of stigma on the men. Are you okay?
Oh my god. I heard like a voice.
Hola.
Okay, what is happening? I swear I heard Paula, and I'm home alone.
Is your mom home?
No, I'm home alone.
Oh my god.
Okay, so if I die, this is on record. I am home alone right now.
Oh my god.
Okay, I don't hear anything. Okay, anyway, what? Okay.
Okay,
yes.
okay.
Stigma,
Okay.
stigma, men, women, rape. I mean, stuck. Okay,
Yeah.
yes.
So I feel like there's like a lot of stigma on what. Okay, so a man stalking a woman, it is seen as very, very scary because it is terrifying, and most likely they're gonna be like, oh, this person can get violent, blah 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 blah. But a woman stalking a man, I feel like they don't take it as serious as it is.
Oh yeah.
Women could also get violent.
Yeah.
But they say like, yeah, but what is a woman gotta do? She's probably just like obsessed or like in love with this guy.
But it's the same thing with rape. Like, I remember when the whole Me Too movement came out, and Terry Crews came out, and he was like, "Oh, I got sexually assaulted."
Everybody laughed at him.
And everybody
like, what
was
the
laughing,
fuck?
and I'm like, "Where's your feminism? Like, it's supposed to help men and women."
Exactly.
So you should care about, like, if Terry Crews says he was raped. Like, there were men who were like, "You should be grateful" and stuff like that. Like, how does a man get raped?
No, you shouldn't.
That's
like,
so dumb.
If it wasn't consensual, then it's rape. Like, it's just, it doesn't matter who was.
Yeah, it doesn't matter
got
what
raped,
gender
it
you
was who
are.
raped you.
It doesn't matter like what you identify as. It doesn't
Exactly.
matter where
No.
you are.
If it wasn't consensual, it was rape.
It doesn't matter if it's your husband or your family member. It's rape.
If it's a hot woman, if it's a hot guy, no.
It's rape.
Like, it's not, no.
Or non-consensual
So yeah,
sex.
I feel like it's seen.
They shouldn't even call it non-consensual sex. If it's non-consensual sex, it's rape automatically.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Anyway, that's a topic for another episode that we should. Well, anyways, so one of 5 victims. Okay, sorry. Over 10 million men and women had been stalked, or at least once in their lifetime. 1 of 5 victims are physically assaulted. 1/3 of those who are stalked and experience violence is by a partner or somebody that they know. More likely to be women, young adults, 62% female between, 62% of these odds are female, and 48% of them are between 15 and 30 years of age.
Mm-hmm. By the way, this whole episode is because of the series You.
Yes,
on Netflix.
which we're gonna...
Yeah.
Yes, if you guys haven't watched the series You, it hit home. It hit home for me a lot. And also, it was just so well done. Okay, so let's talk about some celebrity stalkers, which is, it happens. I was telling Paula before the episode, I was like, yeah. I mean, as a celebrity, it's something that you expect for it to happen, somebody to get obsessed with you. But reading through celebrity instances with stalkers, we found like the creepiest ones that are just like, wow. Some of them are very known. Yeah. Some of them maybe you guys didn't know about it. But okay, let's start with the Selena Gomez one.
Can you name 3 stalkers? No, I'm kidding.
Oh, okay. I thought you were serious.
No. No, I'm talking to, like, if we were on TV, it was like, can you name 3 stalkers? And then they would appear.
I wish we could have, like, pop-ups. Like, have you ever watched Friends with Murder? The YouTube series?
Oh, yeah.
You know, they have the little pop-ups when they're talking.
Mm-hmm.
And
maybe one day
one day we can, yeah. Maybe one day we'll have, like, a sit-down show like that. Ooh.
My therapist, by the way, listens to this podcast.
Hi.
So, hola, Begoña.
Hola.
She was like, oh my gosh, you guys should do YouTube. Like, I would be your number 1 fan on YouTube.
Paula, you need to get here fast. ASAP.
I know. ASAP.
As possible.
If anybody from the Canadian government is listening, 1, what are you doing? 2,
hello,
get me a
up?
visa so I could leave. Can you get me some paper so I could leave my country and I could move to Canada? I'm gonna be a good prospect. Like I work, okay?
Yeah, she does.
Yeah. Please let me leave my country.
Let me go. Someday, yes. Paula.
Anyway.
So Selena Gomez stalker. So she had a stalker named Thomas Brodnicki. So he said he had over 50 conversations with God about killing her. He also insisted that Selena file a restraining order against him, and he was not gonna say no to it. Basically, he's not. Sorry, he did not wish to say no, like against it or whatever. Because.
Are you okay?
No, I'm not. No. He was not gonna object. That's the word that I was looking for. Because he knew that was the only way that he could like be kept away from her, that he would not gonna contact her if he had a restraining order against him and not harm her, basically.
Is that a direct quote?
Yeah, so he said,
you have?
Direct quote, it says, I believe that a restraining order should be issued against me to prevent me from trying to contact Selena Gomez. I do not wish to object to the restraining order against me because I know it is the only thing that will keep me away, that will make me stay away from Selena.
Okay, so when a stalker is like, when a dude is like, okay, I think you should file a restraining order against me because I'm gonna like do something to you, be careful.
Yeah.
You probably should file a restraining order against them.
And even like that, you should probably, bulk up in your security because a piece of paper,
You never
if
know.
he really wants to hurt you, a piece of paper is not gonna do anything. He'll find a way. I mean, if he's having conversations with God about this, yeah.
I don't understand how God is like, yeah,
You should
man,
kill her.
you do you, dude.
Yeah, I mean, go kill her. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck. Yeah, I don't know. It's very creepy. Well, talking about stalkers who do kill, Mark David Chapman.
We have Mark David Chapman killed
John Lennon. He was stalking him for months. He would show up at his doorstep every single day. He would wait around for hours until he was back. He would, what was it that he would like come with like a book or like the
It was a book that he thought it was like a Bible. I forgot what it was. It's also a
there's
movie.
called, yeah, the name of the book, the title of the book was the title of a movie that came out with Jared Leto actually, which he looks exactly like it. It's like, it's a number or something like that, no?
Shit, I don't know. But the thing is that he would appear with books. He would, for example, the day he shot John Lennon, he went to his apartment in New York like 3 times.
Yeah.
He was obsessed. And not because of John Lennon per se, like not because of the person. It was because he was obsessed, because he was very religious. And John Lennon had said that the Beatles were greater than Jesus.
Yeah, so he didn't like that
And
very
so
much.
he was like, yeah. So Mark David Chapman gave him a CD to sign. You know, John Lennon took it, he signed it, and then Mark David Chapman shot him.
Like right there in front of a bunch of people.
Oh, yeah.
You've been to New York, right?
Yeah.
You've been to the, where they have the little, like, light that's always the memorial, and then across the street, like, where his actual apartment was, or is, I don't know if Yoko Ono still lives there. Yeah, they have, like, a little light that is always on for him. Yeah. It's very nice. Then we have Ricardo Lopez, Bjork's stalker.
This guy is creepy.
He is so mentally ill, is beyond sad. Well, he was. He killed himself, just FYI.
Yeah. It's sad. It's very sad because he would record, like, there's hours and hours of footage of him talking about, like, Bjork. And you know what the creepy thing is? That he would talk about Bjork and her music would be blasting in the back. Or this guy also tried to send Bjork a bomb.
Yeah.
And in the videos, he's making the bomb. He's setting everything up. He's telling everybody his plan. And in the back, Bjork is singing. Yeah. How creepy is that?
I think, didn't he send the bomb and then he shot himself on video.
Yeah, you can find that on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, not the actual suicide, but the part where he's about to.
Yeah.
Which is just...
And he has his face painted and stuff. Oh, it's so weird.
And like he's like... I think his face and body painted, no? Because he didn't have a shirt on. I've seen this video quite a few times on like...
Me too, but I don't remember if his body was painted. I think it's only his face, and it was like red and black.
Yeah.
And he's blasting Bjork, and he has like a shotgun. And then he just blasts his head off.
It's just very sad. Thank God they were able to stop the bomb before they it got to Bjork. It got to Bjork. I think, wasn't it because he got, I heard about it somewhere, but it could be just some misinformation as it happens, but didn't he start planning on sending her this bomb? He got mad because she got married or she was like in a relationship with somebody or something like that.
He found out she was married and he got mad.
Which is so sad. But anyway,
if you want to know more, all the footage is on YouTube.
Look it up. Just look up for Ricardo Lopez, and it should show up right away, or just Ricardo Lopez Bjork, and then it'll show up. Which is, it is a trigger warning because he was very mentally ill. He did not get any help whatsoever. So you kind of see through the videos like his downward spiral, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next one is Jodie Foster's stalker. So John Hinckley Jr. in 1980. John Hinckley Jr.
Yeah, he enrolled in Yale just to stalk Jodie Foster, who, by the way, went to Yale.
I had no idea.
Yeah. And basically Hinckley, just as, Charles Manson with Helter Skelter, thought that Jodie Foster was speaking to him through her movies and for some reason, and asked him to kill the president, which was Ronald Reagan. And he planned to win over her love by killing Ronald Reagan.
Right, because that's what she was telling him in code, apparently.
Yeah. And Ronald Reagan survived, and Hinckley is still, I think he's still in a mental hospital. And he didn't go to jail because, not guilty by reason of insanity. Which is true.
Yeah, for sure. It's, I don't know. We need to get better health, like mental health care.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. So many things would be prevented with
so many things.
Mental health care.
I mean, not everything maybe, but a lot of things. Like, it's just, if people only could get the help they need, like, so many things could be prevented.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, those were our celebrity stalkers stories, like the creepiest ones. Okay, so let's move on types of stalk. Let's move on to, wow, can I speak? I can't speak. I don't know how to speak English, sorry.
What about the Forbes article?
Oh, that's at the end.
Cosmopolitan. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oops.
No,
Sorry.
it's okay.
I will edit this.
Okay.
Anyway, types of stalkers.
So let's move on to types of stalkers. This is my favorite part of the episode. We're writing an article here, you guys. Okay, so the very first type is the rejected stalker. So somebody who begins to harass a victim after the end of a romantic relationship, or what was perceived a romantic relationship. A lot of the times it's something that wasn't there, but they think there was something. So like they believed it on their heart that they had a romantic relationship with this person when they didn't. So a rejected stalker engages in stalking to continue to have influence over her or his victim's life, basically. The second type, they seek intimacy, which I think this is the one that we can see in the series You. They seek intimacy even though the victim is unaware of their stalker's feelings. The stalker believes that his or her actions will provide some type of intimacy with the victim. The third type is the incompetent stalker. So this is somebody who who will act by impulse, basically. They're often socially awkward. They try not to approach the victim directly. It's not like the intimacy stalker who they will try and start up and spark up a relationship with the victim. This person prefers stalking over actually attempting a normal relationship. Never mind, that's not like the one in You. I would say the intimacy one, but the incompetent... Oh, no, yeah, it is. Sorry.
Yeah, it's
the intimacy one. That's the one that we see in You. And then the fourth type of stalker is the resentful stalker. So somebody who feels that he or she has been humiliated by the victim after ending a relationship with that person. So this is like, we would see like an abusive partner, maybe like abusive ex-partner, or somebody who's like relentless to like end a relationship with somebody when it was pretty much done, but they don't see it as done. So they would resent, and then these are more dangerous than the other ones because they could get violent. And then the final type of stalker, though, is the most dangerous, is the predatory one. So the predatory stalker, they don't want intimacy or a romantic relationship. They just stalk for the sake of stalking the person.
Power and
exactly.
control.
Power and control, and keeping tabs on people, or the person that they're stalking. They will use fear and violence to instill a sense of helplessness in that person.
That reminds me of some serial killers.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, that's what it is at the end of the day, right? So stalkers, I don't think they know that they're doing anything wrong. Well, most of them. I feel like somebody who is like this type of stalker, like the predatory stalker, I think they know that they are doing something wrong, but they like the thrill of it. But let's look at the very first three types. I don't think they know that they're doing anything wrong. What are your takes on that?
I don't think rejected stalkers know that they're doing something wrong because they just want...
I don't know. They just want to be
I don't know how to
liked,
explain it.
Loved, or like they just want to have that. But I know what you're trying to say for sure. But I don't know. I don't feel like they know that they're doing anything wrong, which is the case.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
What, sorry?
I don't think so. I don't think they're doing something wrong either.
Because if you look at...
Because I don't think that somebody is like, okay, I am going to look up information on somebody and I am going to basically like run their lives on the internet.
Right.
Just because, like, I don't think that's that's the process you go through when you're stalking somebody. I think it's more like, oh, let's see where she likes or he likes to go on vacation. Right. Let's see what she's up to today and things like that. It starts with something small. Right. I think.
I think so too, and it kind of, like when you, let's say you have like a wallpaper. I feel like I've heard this analogy somewhere else, but when you have like a wallpaper that's peeling, and then like you start peeling a little bit of it, thinking that that's like that, and then you start peeling the next layer, and then the next layer, and then you just end up with like a huge hole in your wallpaper wall.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's what it is. It's just like, oh, but then a little bit more, and then a little bit more, and then it just turns to like this big thing.
Yeah. I think it's because it's an addictive habit because you find answers that you're like, oh, like I wonder what color she likes or what color he likes.
Right.
And then you find it and you're like, oh my God, what can I find next?
Exactly.
About this person.
Exactly.
It could become addictive.
Yeah. That's what I see with the series You, that I don't think he thought that he was doing anything wrong. Because he, for example,
he thought what Joe thinks in the series is that by stalking Beck, he's making her a better person because he's helping her. He's helping her be a better person by, keeping tabs on her friends, letting her know what her friends are saying and things like that.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's the intimacy stalker, because he did want a relationship with her. He was keeping tabs on her to seem perfect for her, for him to help her. He thought he was helping her. Like you said, be a better person, have a better life ish.
Yeah.
All that. And then because we see him struggle with the fact that, okay, this is if anybody who hasn't seen the series, this is a spoiler alert for 2 seconds. The very first time when he kidnaps his her ex-boyfriend,
Benji.
You can see him struggling with that. You can see him struggling with the fact that he did that, and he's like, yeah, but I don't do this. Why would I do this? And then he's like, what the fuck did I just do? Because he was very impulsive.
Yeah.
Right? So I feel like he didn't think he was doing anything wrong until he was doing something that was very, very wrong. And he's like, whoa, this is not what I planned to do. Like, this wasn't my plan from the start, right?
Mm-hmm. And his justification was, oh, it's for her. It's for her. And she didn't ask him anything.
Exactly. But in his head, he was doing it for her. And that was basically just getting obstacles out of the way for her to be okay.
If somebody watches this series and thinks that everything that Joe is doing is somehow romantic,
please don't.
You have a problem. Seriously.
Which you can go down that rabbit hole though, because he sells, like, the whole series is very captivating, and he sells the character very well. Because everything, so this series, everything is told from his point of view. So he's narrating basically as if he were talking to her. And so you can go down, like, at points, when I was watching the series, I would think, like, oh, well, that's not that bad. And then I'll be like, oh, no. That is very bad. Like, he's fucking crazy.
No, but oh, he's so romantic for,
for doing that for her.
Doing this and this for her. It's not.
This is not love, actually, you guys. It's not. This is things that happen. And this is something that does happen every day. And I'll be super honest with you. It hit home for me, like, a lot of the parts of the series. But it's not cute. It's not romantic. Like, it's just... It's crazy. Like,
it's wrong.
No.
Anybody who does that is in a violent and harmful relationship.
Yeah. So, yeah. We suggest you watch the series because it's so good. I finished it in 2 days. Like, the whole season.
I finished it in 2 days.
What I didn't like, though, is that they left an open ending for another season. Yeah. They should have just left it as it is, like the book. So, okay. So I have a passage from a Cosmopolitan article that's called The Time I Turned Into a Stalker. So this is from a girl's point of view who didn't know she had turned into a stalker. And then, like, years later, like, when she was writing this story, I guess she figured out, that's what she wrote this story, that it was wrong what she was doing. But at the time, she didn't think anything wrong of it. So this is just like a quote, a passage of it or whatever. So... she says, I woke up before dawn thinking of him. It had been a long time since I'd been able to think of anything else. I had to convince him to be with me. I headed to his apartment building, walking quickly at first, then breaking into a run. I stood in the lobby acting like I'd lived there and I had forgotten my key. Before long, someone let me in. I took the elevator to the top floor and knocked on his door. He didn't answer. I kept knocking. I knew that if he just let me into his life, we would have an epic romance. We would be thankful for my determination. He would be thankful for my determination. One day would brag to our friends about the morning I had boldly won him over. He opened the door wielding a baseball bat in one hand and his phone in the other. Get out of here, he said. I'm going to call the cops. So I was reading this article. We'll eventually put the links on it, but if you want to look it up, it's in cosmopolitan.com. It's called The Time I Turned Into a Stalker.
Yeah, we'll leave the links in the
for you guys, because there's another article which we'll just kind of brush onto it only, like, because it's a very long article, but it's very interesting to read. But anyway, so this Cosmopolitan one, basically what had happened, she had just she got dumped from a long relationship. And she bumped, like, randomly at a bar or something like that, she bumped into an old high school friend. Or somebody, like an acquaintance from high school. And it's somebody that she had a crush on or whatever, like, back in high school. And they started having, like a friendship, sort of, because he did have a girlfriend. So they started having a friendship. They would, like, have makeout sessions, but also he would tell her, like, that he really liked her, and then that he was gonna break up with his girlfriend, blah blah blah. And then eventually he said, no, I'm not gonna break up with my girlfriend, because she started getting, like, I hate saying very clingy, because that is such a, like, sexist thing to say, because a girl likes a guy. And she starts sending, but apparently she was, like, sending him emails with poems, and, like,
obsessive.
She got very obsessed with him, basically. And then after he was like, yeah, you know what, I don't want this anymore, like, I'm not gonna break up with my girlfriend. I think it was like a long distance relationship that he had. And after that, she didn't think that it was over. And so she kept going up to his apartment, like, no, we need to be together, blah, blah, blah. And that's when he just started, like, noticing that she did turn into a stalker eventually. She would show up in places that he was at, blah, 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 that she knew that he would be at. And then this girl writes in the article, like, years later, married with 2 children, I realized, because that was just one instance that he had never done that before. It was like, I realized that I was a stalker, that I was obsessed with him, and that what I was doing was very wrong. But at the time, she didn't think. She thought she was doing it for love.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
See, that's how you get it's an addictive behavior that you get into that you don't realize what you're doing.
It is very scary. And at one point, actually, she mentions that she even walked into like a psychiatric wing of a hospital because she couldn't stop thinking about him. She like couldn't sleep. She couldn't do anything. And it was like literally like physically hurting her. So like she went to like a psychiatric to like, how do I make it stop? How to make the obsession stop? I'm sorry, we're looking at Paula's dog. He's standing right on the desk. I love it.
Okay, get out of here.
What is he doing?
I don't know. And at this point, I'm too afraid to ask.
What?
And at this point, I'm too afraid to ask.
Ya, dame un segundo, me quiero sentar. Me duele la espalda.
Yeah.
Ay. Oh, I forget that that's not a good position for me.
Me pasa lo mismo. De repente es como, oh, estoy súper bien así. Y de repente me duele la rodilla. I have fallen.
I love that. Oh no, I am falling.
Help.
Oh, my arm. Oh my god, everything hurts now.
Oh my god, con la Fiña nos acordábamos de ti cuando vino el domingo. Porque estábamos hablando de que éramos súper pobres. Entonces empezábamos, help me, I'm poor.
Yay! I made it my point to like make everyone think of me when they think of that movie, and I feel like I've done a pretty good job.
You have.
Yeah.
You have.
Like my sister sends me gifs of that all the time. Larian. Everyone.
I'm Mrs. Iglesias.
It's not me. It's Mrs. Iglesias. What kind of name is that? Stove. What are you, an appliance?
It's Steve.
It's Steve. Whatever, stove. And this.
Every time I have lemonade, I'm like, that shit is fresh.
Shit, and it's fresh. I love Kristen Wiig. With all my heart and soul. She's the
Oh
best.
yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, Stalkers.
Stalkers. So we took a little break to talk about Bridesmaids. Because why not?
Because why
It's always a good time to watch and talk about Bridesmaids.
Yep.
Okay. So, that story. So we'll link in the description, and then we'll link this other one too. So there's this Forbes article. It's called Mind of a Stalker. And it's a very long article because it's based on another story, and then they kind of talk about stalkers throughout like the article. And basically it's about this guy who works like, they don't say where he works, but he was very depressed. And so he would like sit at night in his computer and like Google stuff, and like while drinking wine and stuff. And one day he decided to Google one of his coworkers. So this is a man stalking a woman scenario. And so he decided to Google her, and eventually he went down this like rabbit hole, finding information about her, like old social media accounts, and like he started like literally just getting information about her. And eventually, because of all this information, he was able, and like this just baffles my mind. Like it's just, I'm like, how? But he was able to guess the password to her email. And from there, it was just like he had her calendars. He started showing up where she was. He would read her conversations between that she had with people. Like it's just like, it's such a like scary thing to think about. This reminded me of you because from her side, I don't think she even knew that this was happening at all. I don't think she saw anything bad with this. So he said
anything unusual.
Exactly.
She was just like, Oh, he showed up where I was.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a coincidence.
And so what he would do is that he would like literally, he would show up in the places where she was. Sometimes he would like go up and say hi, like, oh hey, like bump into her and be like, oh hey, like all surprised. And sometimes he would just ignore her, pretending that he didn't see her, just to make it seem like he wasn't following her.
Oh my god.
And it's just like, it got to a point where like his a brother, I think, sat him down and he was like, hey, you need to like stop this because it's getting on the way of your work. Because apparently he was like, he was going to work like hangover every morning because he was sitting in the computer all night drinking wine and like Googling her, finding information, stalking her, basically cyber stalking her. Sorry. So yeah, it's very creepy. I highly recommend the article. And also it gives you like tips on how to look up on your email, how to look up like the sign-in information to like see where your email has been signed in from, which I am gonna start doing now.
What this story made me want to do is change my password.
And change your yeah, that's the other thing too.
I think I'm just gonna like, what I think is the same thing to do is write like a code, write it down, have it somewhere like I don't know, and then memorize it.
True. That's a good one.
I'm gonna do that.
Something that somebody wouldn't be able to guess, like your name or like your pet's name, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Because most likely that's what happened with this case, is that I don't know, she put, I don't know, like her pet's name. And what he did is he just like went down her feed on Instagram and saw her pet a bunch of times. And she's like, okay, so apparently this creature is very important to her. So let's try with his name and a bunch of numbers. I don't know.
Oh my god. Yeah, I think I'm gonna change my passwords.
Yeah, you probably should. And I think I will too. I'm actually gonna tell my story. So
you don't have to tell the whole thing if you're not comfortable. Just
I won't tell the whole thing, but I will tell like the main the gist of it basically. So this is definitely a cautionary tale for whoever uses Tinder out there. Okay, so 2015, this was years ago. 2015, 16, it's been 4 years?
Mm-hmm.
Was 2015, 2016, one or the other. I think I had just gotten on Tinder for the first time. And my sister used to also work at that office, and she used to, this is important to the story, and she used to live about 40 minutes in another city, about 40 minutes away from where the office was. And I lived another 40 minutes away. So basically this was like right in the middle between us. And so I had just gotten on Tinder, and so I eventually came across this guy. I'm not gonna name his name. Okay, so he was a that's how like we started talking. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, blah blah blah. I made the mistake of telling him, so he said, so which area do you live in? And I said, I live, that was just the intersection, like it's just the area that I lived in. At the time I used to live literally right in the corner, but of course I didn't tell him that, but I did tell him the area that I lived in. And he's like, oh, that's so cool, like I go there all the time, just to like take pictures, like they send me there on jobs, right? And I'm like, oh, that's very cool. So in this office, I was doing data entry, so sometimes I couldn't look at my phone. I would have to like put it away because I had deadlines that I had to meet. Mm-hmm. And so some days I wouldn't look at my phone in the 8 hours that I was at work, or like I would look at it in my lunch and then I would just put it away again, right? So I was talking to this guy for like maybe about a week, and I had already started getting like a little bit of like weirdness. Like I started getting weirded out by him because he got very clingy way too fast, like within the first few days. So for example, if I wouldn't answer his text after like 2 minutes, he would, oh, by the way, he found me on every social media. So he messaged me on Tinder, but he already added me on Twitter. He found me on Facebook, which I don't know how he found me on Facebook because I have security on Facebook, but we had people in common, which is why I didn't tell that many people about this story, about this. So he would message me through text. He would send me a message on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, and on Tinder.
My God. So
sometimes he would text me, and I'll be at work, and I wouldn't reply after 2 minutes or like a minute or something. And he would be like, Alessa. Oh, my nickname is Alessa. People calls me Ale or Alessa. My full name is Alessandra, just letting you know. But he knew me as Alessa. So he'd be like, Alessa. And like, he would literally message me on every single social media if I wouldn't reply to his text. And I'd be like, sorry, I was busy at work. And he'd be like, yeah, but can't you use your phone at work? And I'll be like, no, I have deadlines to meet. I can't, right? Mm-hmm. And so he started waiting me out. I tried not to talk to him as much, like within that week. Eventually what happened is that I was staying at my sister's for 2 weeks because they were fixing the windows in my apartment. And so he's like, hey, do you want to hang out this week? This had been a week and a half to 2 weeks before, like, that we've been talking, sort of, kind of. Not romantically, because he already creeped me out. So if anything, I was going to keep him as a friend, sort of, kind of. Because, I was trying to be nice. And so he's like, okay, we'll hang out. He's like, sorry, I'm going to be at my sister's for 2 weeks. He's like, oh, okay. And I made another mistake of telling him which area I was going to be in. So I told him the city that I was going to be in, which is a brand newish town. So, like, it's not that old. So there's not a lot of neighborhoods around. So if he wanted to find me and if he put the effort, he could have found me, which he did. And we're going to get into the stalker part. So I was staying at my sister's. I was already, like, avoiding him. And one day this morning, so we're talking about, this is in the middle of the summer. There's no school. The only buses pass by there are the buses that go to the university close to Toronto, or the buses that go down to Mississauga. There's no school because it's summer. So usually in the mornings, like when we used to live at 7 a.m., there wouldn't be anybody waiting for the bus. Like where my sister used to live was like the middle of the highway.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so we're standing at the bus stop, and there's this guy standing by the side with sunglasses, a hat, and he has a camera around his neck. Like a big Canon camera, like a professional one. And so I looked at him and I was like, he looks very familiar. Mind you, I've never met this guy actually in person. But from his pictures, like I could tell, I was like, he looks familiar. He had sunglasses on, so I couldn't really see his face. So we're standing there, and I kept looking, and my sister was talking to me. She didn't know about this guy at this point, which in the bus I kind of told her. But I didn't tell her until later that he was stalking me eventually. So we're sitting there, and I keep looking, and this guy was, like, uncomfortable. You can tell that he was uncomfortable. Like, he would turn around, kind of look at us, and when I would turn around, he would, like, pretend like he wasn't looking at us. We got on the bus, and we went to sit down at the back. So let's say we were sitting horizontally, and then he was sitting vertically. So he could see us. Where he was sitting from at the front of the bus, he could see back to us, like, without actually looking like he was looking at us. Mind you, he has his sunglasses on and a hat on, so yeah. So we're sitting there, and I told my sister, I was like, I think I know that guy. And I knew that he lived in Toronto, and when I told him that I was going to stay in, he said, oh, cool, we should hang out. I have people that I know who lives in. And now I'm thinking, I was like, I wonder if he said that just as an excuse to be like, hey, I'm in the area. But he didn't really, you know what I mean? He kept looking back at us. We got off on our stop. He kept going. He texted me that day. He's like, so how's work going? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, well, yeah, whatever. I didn't reply too much because I was already creeped out because I thought I had seen him. I'm like, okay, it's one time. He said he knew people in Brampton. Maybe he was, like, around. I don't know what the fuck he was doing there at 7 a.m. in the middle of the summer, in the middle of the week, but sure. So this one day I'm coming also back from work. My sister hadn't worked that day. So I'm getting off at my sister's stop, and I'm crossing the street, and I see this car pulling up to the red light. So I'm crossing through the green light, and I see this car. And I'm still debating whether it was or not, if it was him or not, but it looked like him, and he kept looking at me. Again, sunglasses on, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna ignore it, cross the street to my sister's house, whatever. A week passed. I think I saw him like 3 times. I was trying to ignore it because I didn't want to think that he was stalking me. So then I went back home. I deleted my Tinder account. I'm telling you, not even 2 minutes, 3 minutes passed where this guy, my stalker, sent me a text, and he's like, what the fuck? Why did you delete your Tinder account? How? Okay, first of all, how do you know? Like, how did you, like, he had to have been keeping tabs on me for him to know that I deleted it, because we already had each other's numbers. We were already talking through Twitter, through Instagram, or whatever the other places he was talking to me in. Why weren't you keeping your taps on me on Tinder. Like, you didn't need to. Like, what? Like, how did you even know?
My God, that's so scary.
And so I was like, how did you know? And he's like, yeah, because, like, your profile is not there anymore, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh. I was like, yeah. And I said it as, like, kind of jokingly, because it had nothing to do with him, but I was kind of talking about him also. And I said, my quote was, yeah, too many creeps out there. And I said, ha ha ha, too many creeps out there. And he exploded. He freaked out. He started calling me every name on the book. Are you talking about me? Are you talking about me? Fucking bitch, blah, blah, blah. He called me, like, he just called me every single name in the book. Like, he cursed me up and down. And then he's like, you don't fucking deserve me, you fucking bitch, you fucking cunt, blah, blah, blah. He called me every single, and I'm warning that for people that don't like that, the word cunt, but he did call me that. And I was like, what the fuck? I wasn't talking about you. I'm like, but now that you act like this, like, no, like, I'm gonna block you. And before I could block him, he had already blocked me off of everything. Yeah. So I thought that was the end of it.
God.
Yeah, no, he was fucking. And then, because I remember that day I went to my friend's house, and I told her, and I didn't tell her that I had been seeing him, like, around my area. Oh, I'm telling you, this was maybe 2 weeks into, like, meeting him for the first time, like, online. Like, no more than 3 weeks, for sure.
Oh, my God.
And so I told her, and she's like, oh, that's so fucking creepy. So she went on her Facebook, because I couldn't see his page anymore. So on Google, she looked up his Facebook account, which he has, like, he had no security for. So she could see all of his posts. And he had written, like, 4 statuses, like, right after we had that conversation where, like, he freaked out at me. He had written 4 statuses about how girls these days, and then he, like, literally, like, you could tell he was, like, subtweeting me, basically. Like, he wasn't directly saying my name, but, like, he was, like, he literally freaked out. Like, we had, like, no relationship, but to him, I think we were dating. Like, it was so creepy. And she's like, that is so, like, my friend was looking at this, she's like, what the fuck? Like, he's talking about you. And I'm like, I know he is. And you know, the worst part is that he wrote this, like, oh, like, I got dumped, basically, like, saying that he got dumped almost. And people on the comments, like, his friends or whatever, like, his cyber friends on the comments, they were like, oh, she didn't deserve you, I don't know what you're going through, but I mean, she didn't deserve you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you have no idea. Like, I'm just thinking in my head, I'm like, you have no idea who this guy is, do you? So anyways, that happened, and I thought that was the end of it. It wasn't. I saw him around my area. Again, he knew the area where I lived. I saw him so many other times in my area. Because of course, it was my area, so I would, like, go out a lot around, like, to go to the pharmacy, to go to the grocery store, to go to Starbucks, and stuff like that. So I would see him around my area, and the thing is, he would always do the same thing. It would look like he was looking at me, and when I noticed him, he would pretend like he didn't see me. And at the beginning, when I saw him in Boston the very first time, I was like, no way. But then I saw him the second time that I thought I saw him, and I was like, maybe it is him. And then, because I thought, okay, the first time maybe he just didn't know it was me, blah, blah, blah. But then I saw the exact same guy in my area, like 3 or 4 weeks after, like, maybe a week after we stopped talking. And this was ongoing for months. Like, I would see him around my area all the time. He never approached me. He was just keeping tabs on me, I think. I honestly don't know what he was doing, because he never tried to contact me on social media ever again. He was probably looking at my Instagram, because he didn't block me from Twitter, though. So he was probably, like, I actually stopped using my Twitter for a while because of it. And I don't think he ever found out where I lived. I honestly don't know. Maybe he did follow me at one point, which I didn't notice. But I was pretty, like, I felt I had to, like, watch my back for many months. Like, because I would see him around my area, and I'm like, oh, where is he? I would, like, get home late from, like, class and stuff like that. And
you were
I was very, very paranoid. Eventually, I stopped seeing him. I'm guessing he moved on to the next victim. But yeah, sometimes it's very weird, because I knew he was probably keeping tabs on me. I mean, he was physically stalking me. Again, there's a lot of details that I'm not gonna say, but sometimes I still, you know, when you leave something on a shelf and then you just like pass by just to like, you always kind of peek in to see if it's still there, just to make sure that it's still there. So that's what I do. And I'll be honest with you, like I try not to do it as much, but sometimes I still go into his Twitter page just to make sure that he's still there where he still is, like just to make sure that he's still in the same place that he is and not like, you know. But yeah, that's my story.
Oh my god, I had no idea.
This is gonna be a long episode.
I don't even know what to say now. I'm like,
yeah, it you know, this is the first time I think that I'm saying it to a bunch of people, because
a lot of people,
because I was scared of saying the story out loud, because I don't know, you never know who he might know.
I know,
but now it's been so many years, I still, I don't know.
Yeah, I can understand. Let's leave it here.
Yeah, let's leave it at that.
Find us on social media. Don't stalk us.
Please don't stalk us.
Coven. Undercover Coven everywhere. Our email is undercovercoven@gmail.com if you want to, you know, pass and say hi. And remember to rate, review, and subscribe.
Yes.
And let us know
what you think. Do you have any stalker stories? Like,
please
let us know, because I know this is something that happens to everybody. Like, I'm not like a 1% chance that this happened. No, like this happens to everyone. So I'm sure there must be somebody out there who's had a similar situation. So please let us know if you do. Send us an email if you want, or just put it on the notes. Put it in the comments or tweet at us.
Yeah, we can tell your story if you want as well. No problem.
Okay, well, goodbye. Thank you so much for listening.
Yes, thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.